Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 3 of Stocks to Watch. And in this video, we're going to talk about the stocks to watch for tomorrow. And we will also have a discussion on what we had discussed yesterday and how did things play out. So, we had a word yesterday about Nifty filling its gap. That happened. We also had a discussion that auto OEMs and companies in the real estate, construction, and the material sector are bound to do extremely well. And that is exactly what happened. There was a few select stocks in the healthcare sector also that did exceedingly well, and the engineering themes and the auto OEM themes continues to prosper. So let's have a look at all of those things, and let's also talk about the stocks that I'm going to be watching for tomorrow and the remaining end of the week. So if I have a look at the watch list that I shared with you yesterday, so we saw Dilip Buildcon having another day of up move after an upper circuit yesterday. So this was pretty much a very expected move. The stock continued its momentum and was extremely solid. Right today, it made an intraday high of about 230 rupees. That means it was again up about 10% today, and that was one stock from the real estate sector. We also saw Brigade. So I'll just quickly go through all of these stocks one by one, the ones which did extremely well. So Brigade is one such stock that I had asked you yesterday that is prepping up, it's brewing, and today it had a very solid move. A lot of traders in the community traded Brigade. So that is one. Scheifler India, we had a discussion that this narrow range right here could be really interesting to see, and it did play out extremely well. The stock was up 4% today. Lodha, after a split, again continued its up move. So we saw that the stock was again kind of coming out of this range. I will still have a look and keep a watch on this stock and this entire sector even for tomorrow, but even this did really well. Narayana Hrudyalaya, we again discussed that the stock is getting into a tighter range after a multi-year base, and the stock is extremely strong and on very solid volumes. So again, this also moved up really nicely. Narayana Hrudyalaya. Engineering stocks we've been discussing for the last 2 days, and they have been just doing absolutely phenomenally well. So that is another stock. Now, Gabrielle, another name that we had a discussion about, and this is also one of our positions, and even this stock is now ready to come out of this trading range. The only thing that concerns me is that I was expecting a larger uptick in volume today, but I think this is again from the auto OEM sector, bound to do really well. Sundaram Fasteners is again another stock that we discussed yesterday, can come out of this range. It did came out. We also took an intraday trade on this today, so this is the trade that we took with all our members, and we were able to exit right here at the very top over here, because we were getting about 3.5 hour on this one. So even this had a fantastic move, and I think this can even continue tomorrow as well, again from the auto OEM space. So you can clearly see that this is the sector which is the strongest. So Gabrielle, AIA Engineering, even Sundaram Fasteners, all of them were from this space. But the one stock which was absolutely electrifying was definitely Olectra. So I forgot to talk about that. So I'll just quickly add this over here. So Olectra is one such stock that you are talking about since the last 2 days, that this is another, from the auto OEM space that can do really well. And today the stock, has moved about 3%, was up 4-5% as far as the intraday highs were concerned. But I think this is a solid move that is brewing in Olectra, and I think this can continue even tomorrow. Now, the next stock that is going to be on my watch list is definitely going to be GICRE, which is Jikri. So I was again telling you that PSU insurance companies are bound to do extremely well, and they have done that. So Jikri got a phenomenal move with extraordinary volumes on an intraday basis. So you can just look at this, right? So this is where we had entered again on Jikri over here somewhere, and we were able to capture the spike, but obviously it rolled over to demand, and I think this is going to bound. This is probably going to continue even for tomorrow. And a brother of Jikri is basically NIACL, and again that is also going to be on my watch list, on my radar, because this is also brewing up, setting nicely very tight into a range, and I think there's going to be an expansion here in this as well. Now, mind you, Jikri and NIACL are heavily institutional owned stocks, so there could be massive moves coming in both on the long short side. So you have to be a little careful in kind of playing that. East India Hotels was also average move. Lemon Tree post earnings had a solid move, but then it sold off. So these are basically the stocks that we had a discussion. All these other stock never really triggered an entry, because RHIM, we spoke about it, that there were earnings. Lumax also reported earnings, and earning numbers were not really very good, and the stock was down 10%. So only these stocks did not really trigger an entry. So Vijaya Diagnostics, I'm still watching it for tomorrow, and this is also in my list for tomorrow's trade. So let's quickly hop on to the stocks that I'm going to be watching for tomorrow. And the auto space again remains to be my favorite. The auto and the engineering space together remains to be my favorite. So let's quickly have a look on all of these stocks. So Torrent Pharma is one stock on on my, on my watch list, and there is another name in the pharma space, which is Sun Pharma, which is going to be on my radar because both of them are basically breaking out of their range. So now the breakout is already done. So we don't have a swing trade here and there's extraordinary volumes, but there could be an intraday continuation play tomorrow. So please keep this on your watch list because this stock has, taken out a big range. Like if you look at this on even the weekly chart, this stock has probably taken out this entire base that was coming out of, right? So, after doing a fake out over here, a liquidity grab, and now the stock has consolidated nicely, and then it has moved, sharply higher from this move. So from 27th of Feb, the stock has been, moving week on week on the upper side. So there could be an intraday continuation, but the stock is a little extended. So keep this on radar. Sun Pharma is also one such stock that you should keep on radar. Next up is JSL. Now, JSL is not completely ready yet, but there is some uptick in metal stocks, and the stock is again into a consolidation, into a range bound action. There is extra, decent volume uptick. So maybe tomorrow, if we start seeing the stock starts to trade in the 297, 298 region, I think we could see another green candle over here, which is big enough. So that's one such stock. Again, it's not ready yet, but I think it could move in very strongly. Next up is Syngene, another, pharma, player, which is into more into biotechnology. So again, the stock is into a tight little range over here near its all-time highs, and now the stock could again explode. And just observe the uptick in volumes that you can see in this entire period. So that means there is lots of institutional activity that's going on into the stock. If you look at the bigger picture, Syngene has actually taken out all these important areas of resistance after creating like a multi year base. I think a 2 year base it has created, and now it has moved out from this base. So I think it's going to be really interesting to see, and this is more of an intraday BTST kind of a stock because the stock has already established its shorter term range over here. So if it starts taking this range out, I think there could be good action that we can see in this stock. Next up, we have East India Hotels again. Again, the idea remains the same. I feel that there could be, action over here. So I think this is again getting into a narrow range consolidation, huge volume upticks that are coming in. And Lemon Tree, as I said, announced really good earnings, and even Royal Orchard Hotels. I think both of them reported good earnings. I think there could be a continuation in East India Hotels. Please keep it on your watch list, both for intraday and swing. Now, next up is Hatsun Agro. This stock was beaten down a lot, so you can clearly see the long-term chart is, the stock is being dumping from the 1480 highs, and now post earnings the stock is getting into a consolidation, high volume action in a few days, and now it's getting into a range. Again, it's one of those stocks which is not ready yet, but I think this could start exploding very, very soon, so please keep this on radar. Next up, we've got DCM Shriram, and again, it's a similar structure, similar story. The stock is coming out of its range, high volume action, and now it's getting into a very tight range. Again, this is one of those stocks which is not ready yet to move tomorrow, but probably tomorrow or day after, I think we could see an explosive move in this one. This, however, be very cautious. This has been an underperformer, and there's some supply here, but just keep this on radar. Another engineering stock on my watch list has to be Engineer India. Engineers India. This is a PSU company. After a very good narrow range consolidation over here, stock broke out, right, and it's doing the same thing again, providing another, momentum for its another up move. Now, just look at the volume activity over here as compared to what was happening here. So solid institutional participation. The stock is already up, I think, from the place over here, the stock is already up 42% in the past 1 month or so, and the stock has been doing extremely well. I would see another continuation play both on an intraday and a swing BTST basis. So please keep this on your radar again. Now, TCNS Brands it's a risky stock because after the merger was announced with Aditya Birla Fashion, the stock was literally dumped. So you can see a big gap down over here, lots of selling happening, but the selling has kind of stalled a bit. And if you look at the weekly chart of TCNS Brands, so this is looking more like a value play. So you're basically tapping into these areas of demand over here, and now there is a big gap to be filled on the upside. So this is more of a reversal play, not a momentum play. And most importantly, the price has been into a tight range over here. So just have a look at this, right? The price has been into a tighter range, and I think there could be an expansion coming on this tomorrow. So please keep this on radar as well. Network 18. So we were stopped out today in the trade that we took because the stock just kissed the stop loss, but I think it's still ready. Lots of institutional activity. Just look at the volume spikes over here in this entire region. Lots of accumulation going on. This will still be on my watch list. Maybe we reattempt this again tomorrow. So keep this on radar. And on the same lines, TV18 Broadcast Networks, again, that is also doing extremely well. Again, similar structure, similar setup. price getting into a narrow tight range consolidation, expecting an expansion tomorrow. NIACL, I've already had a discussion with you. Jikri and NIACL, both from the insurance pack, both are doing extremely well and have extraordinary strength. So keep this on radar. I think there could be fireworks in this sector. Vijaya Diagnostics, I think this was there on our watch list yesterday as well. It is not ready yet, but I think this is preparing for an up move. So once the stock starts to trade in the 390 range, I would be really excited. Olectra is, again, something that I've been speaking about for the last 2 days, and the last 2 days the stock has been doing extremely well. And I think there could be a big monumental up move coming in tomorrow or maybe day after. Next up is Igarshi Motors. This is a position that we just took today, and the stock is absolutely doing phenomenal. Very good earnings, and the stock has had good volume uptick over here. So this is basically an accumulation range for institutions. The stock has been a winner of the past, and now it is basically getting into a broader range coming in here. This is again from the auto OEM space. The space is really hot, so I think there could be an uptick in this one as well. This is also, if on the hourly, it's basically into this tighter range over here, and I'm expecting a range break from this tomorrow. So that's another position that we are in. Igarshi Motors, again, something that you should be keeping on radar. Now, this is SML Isuzu, and this is a little extended, but I just want you to, have a look at what this entire sector is doing. And there is so much volume uptick that is coming in into this area, and you can clearly see that the stock creates a base, creates a range, and then moves out of this. So this has just started moving out of this on an intraday basis. I think there could be opportunities in this, so please keep this on radar. Force Motors, another brilliant example of how important earnings are. The stock reported earnings, and the stock basically had a beat on all fronts. Revenue, margins, EBITDA, sales growth, volume growth, everything was fantastic. After a 20% upper circuit, stock is continuing its momentum, and I think it is basically trying to go into a new trajectory. So please keep this on radar. However, I feel it's a little overextended, but just keep this on radar as well. Jikri, we've already had a discussion, so I'll ignore this. Very tight range formation. I think this is ready to explode. Gabrielle, another stock that we had a discussion on, again from the auto OEM space. We already had a discussion about this in the starting of the video. Sansera, again into the auto OEM space, getting nicely, after a base, getting nice contractions over here, nice little base formations over here. Shakeout done. Lots of volume activity. I think this is going to continue its move. If you look at the bigger picture of Sansera, I think it is doing extremely well, and I think this is ready to explode now. And Sansera is, very good earnings. The earnings numbers were not that great, mixed numbers, but I think this also has potential. From the F&O space, we've got Escorts Kubota, which has just broken out of a range. Could be intraday continuation plays that are going to be coming into this. So again, that is something that I'll keep on watch list. Now, coming on to Nifty and Bank Nifty to end this particular episode. Now, we already had a discussion that, Nifty can definitely try and fill this gap. So I'll just, come to this, right? So we already had a discussion that Nifty can, come and fill this gap over here, which starts from this area all the way from this. And what the price did is exactly the same. So the price filled this gap over here. We opened lower, we filled the gap, and then again we are kind of into the range right now, right? So don't look at this, because I think this is due to the contract expiry, contract rollover. That's the reason you can see so many volumes. So just ignore this for now. And there was MSCI rebalancing also that was happening. So all in all, Nifty is not looking that bullish as of now. I think the gap fill is done. Maybe we can start continuing another leg of the up move, but as of now, the price action in the index is not very convincing. So not something that I'm going to be looking at. One stock that I just remember comes from the banking space, which is DCB Bank. One of the community members also identified the stock. This stock is also doing a similar story, similar structure, and it has not participated in the overall rally. So DCB Bank is something that I'll keep on radar for tomorrow, and I think a lot of our people, our members, already have a position in this, which we took today. I think there could be absolutely phenomenal action coming into this stock as well. So that's it from my side. These are the stocks that I'm going to be watching out for. Auto OEMs again remain a strong space. Engineering space again remains very strong. And I think real estate and a little bit from pharma, a little bit from insurance is something that I'm going to be watching out. That's it from my side. One more thing, please make sure to click on the subscribe button, click on the like if button if you like the content, and comment and tell me if you want me to cover a particular stock in depth. I will do a fundamental, technical, and a moat analysis for that particular stock in the upcoming video series. And please make sure to like and subscribe if you like such content. I will see you the next time. Thank you so much for tuning in. That's it from my side.